Hi everybody, it's Matt Robinson. Welcome to another edition of the Writer's Block. Last episode we had Needham native Kevin Banks talking about the art scene in New York, and this episode we have another Needham native who actually not only has ties to the town but to the Needham Channel. It is my producer and your favorite home cook guy, Mike Levin's brother Jon, who wrote an amazing book about brotherhood. Now, as an only child myself, this is a dynamic that has always mystified me, so I'm hoping to get a little inside baseball while we talk. The book is called Nothing Like Having a Brother, and it deals with 3 sets of siblings, 2 human, 1 canine. There's an interesting twist. And apparently, it's only been out for a few weeks, so this is another exclusive scoop on the Writer's Block, and we're happy to have Jon here. Welcome, Jon.
Thank you very much, Matt.
So, what was it like growing up in Needham? And if you don't want to talk about what it was like, particularly growing up with Mike, but in general, how has the city changed? Because you've been here a bit.
Well, I've always loved it here. I grew up here. I have my family currently here, and I just really have enjoyed growing up here. It's a special place for me in so many different levels, and I think it's changed a lot. I mean, we have lots of different stores, lots of different restaurants. There's alcohol stores now, and the houses are a lot bigger. But I really feel that the community hasn't really changed all that much. There's a lot of the people who come to Needham care about each other and do a lot of good things with the community with each other. So that's partly why I wrote this book, because I really want to be involved in the community. I did a lot of coaching my kids' sports teams. I volunteered at the Newman Parent-Teacher Council for many years. And so I kind of feel like, especially with the sports and my kids, they're older now, they're 19 and 16. So this, I think, is a great way for me to still be involved in the community. And I'm just really excited to keep doing that in Needham.
It sounds like you really do love it here. You went away to you were at Colby in Maine,
yeah, and
then came back closer to town to Suffolk for law school.
Yeah.
Your office is in Dedham, but it sounds like you're really connected to the community.
Yeah, definitely. And I've been far away. I traveled quite a bit in my college years, but being able to travel then come back to Needham, it's just every time we go away on vacation, I'm always marvel about how when I come home, I really feel that. Like this has been my home for almost my whole life.
So in addition to your wonderful brother, what inspired this particular angle for your first book? What gave you the idea of the concept of brotherhood and sibling relationships?
Yeah, I think I think my 2 dogs and my 2 sons. I mean, I think that's the real. But it was really just being able to see the different types of things that my sons went through, how they were similar and different to me and how me and Mike went through, and then also the dogs. It's a whole nother dynamic because they're just so zany and fast and a little idiosyncrasy. They're just so different. They're just so they're a lot of fun, but all of a sudden, toward the end of the day, they get very tired and they take naps. I mean, it's just so funny how they're so different, but they're very similar to the dogs.
What are the main differences you noticed about how you and Mike relate to how your sons relate?
I think it's pretty similar. I mean, I think that it was a little, I think that it was very sports centric with me and Mike, and I think with Liam and my 2 sons, Liam and Nick, they're very sports centric, but in different ways. And so, whereas me and Mike used to watch sports events all the time. My sons don't really do that so much, so there's a little bit of a difference there. But again, it's very similar. I noticed that so much with just some of the things like my reaction and my older son's reaction when the siblings were brought home for the first time was very similar. So, for example,
And how long have you had the dogs?
My oldest is 9 years old and my youngest is 7, so they're for a while.
Did you notice that sort of dynamic in them when the new one showed up?
Oh yes. Oh, what even more pronounced, because the dog is like, I'm the main attraction. Why'd you have to get someone else? What, you don't love me? So it's even more pronounced because you really couldn't explain to the dog, whereas you could explain to your kids a little better.
Yeah. So what gave you the idea that it should be a book, and what was the process like?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing that that I felt that really brought this on was COVID. I was, as you might have mentioned before, I'm an attorney, and when COVID happened, the registry of deeds and the courts were closed. And I kind of found myself reflecting that what really else could I do in my life? And on top of that, more backstory to me, I took lessons, art lessons at the Museum of Fine Arts many years ago, and then also more on my creative side. And then also, anytime we did a family event at my family's house, my grandfather and father and family expected us to do like some kind of skit or a poem or a musical thing. So I always picked poetry because I just kind of felt like it was something that was neat and spoke to me. So that was this creative side that was pushed aside. And during COVID, I was able to really hit into it a little bit and realize, hey, maybe I should do something like that. So I started looking around at the boys and the dogs, and I'm like, oh, this is, I think I can write something about all this. And because I was spending more and more time with them and the dogs. So then I wrote the book. I was trying to find publishers. I'd sent out my manuscripts to all these different publishers, not Penguin though, and I had not gotten much response. Actually, I didn't get any responses. And I read more about doing the self-publishing at Amazon Kindle. And then I also talked to a friend of mine who was a children's illustrator. Not the illustrator ended up being this, but I talked to him for a couple of weeks, and after a little while, he realized that he really didn't have time to do an illustration for my book. And he actually was very nice. He's like, look, I think you should find someone else. I'm just so flat out, I can't do it. And I am involved with a group called BNI, which is called Business Networking International. And I met James Scales, my illustrator there, and we ended up talking during the meeting, and we ended up meeting outside of BNI when I found out that he had done illustrations for children's books and for children's coloring books. I said, hey, I told him, I pitched my idea about my book that I'd already written, and he was interested in doing it. And so I'm just so happy that he was able to do that. And so, it just makes, it's funny when I talked to him, one of the things that he told me was that he could do illustrations from here to tomorrow, but doesn't know what to put into the book. And I said, well, that's interesting, because I could do all sorts of wording and lyrics and writings from here to tomorrow. I just can't do children's art. I can draw myself and draw other things, but just not. It's different than children's book. It's just a different type of art.
I was going to ask, with your formal art training, the classes you took, were you kind of over his shoulder a little bit, or did you really kind of let him come up with the visual vision of it?
Oh, I let him come up with all that stuff. Oh, yeah.
It came out beautifully. I just wanted to see what your input was.
No, I mean, for the most part, I mean, there was a couple little things, just little details that I felt like, hey, maybe we should just put this in and that in. And he was totally open to that, and vice versa. I said to him, I was like, look at what I'm writing, and he actually had one little correction for me that I like too. So I said, it's all about work, collaboration, and not being afraid of like, hey, like, you're not going to insult me. I'm not one of these writers that the first time I write it, that's it, it's done. I know that it's a process.
How many significant drafts did you go through?
Probably like 4 or 5. Probably that. Probably something like that. But it also was different because I also had like different pieces of it that I had like pieces at different times too. So that was also that took a little time too.
I mean, it's kind of in 3 sections. Did you write each one at a different time, or was there sort of a through story you were going for?
Most of the time it was all like one. I wrote it all at one time for the most part. There are a couple of little things that I did at different times.
What were some of the big additions or deletions through the editing process?
I think the additions were, if I can remember correctly, just more about the dogs. I think that a lot of people love dogs. I know I do. So I think I added a couple more. I think there's more about them technically than there is about each of the boys, but there was deletions. I don't know if I really had any deletions so much. I think I pretty much got everything I wanted, got it in there. So, but I have other ideas because I also have a lot of other ideas, in the future. So we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know you said this book has only been out for a couple weeks. What was it like opening the first box and holding it in your hands?
Oh, that was really special because, I was looking at James's computer and different text messages he showed me of the original pictures, and I was floored, and I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I wanted. But then when I opened the book and had it in my hands, it was something totally different. It was something I felt really proud of, and I just felt that this was something I've always wanted to do. I mean, I'd read stories and books to my sons for many years, and I felt like there was really I'm sure there are books about brothers, but I just didn't come across any, and I felt like that was needed. And so to be able to have my vision meet what I felt was needed to give to this group that I might feel is a little underrepresented means a lot to me. So that's what I'm thinking about.
I mean, obviously you do a lot of writing in your professional role as an attorney. How has this affected how you see yourself as a writer and maybe the type of writing you might do going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's so different than I'm a lawyer, so I write, all these agreements and contracts and wills and trusts, and it's just so different. It's so much more creative. It can take me to so many different places, and I just feel like there's so much else I could do. I have so many different ideas for all sorts of different topics. One of the things is a lot of people have asked me, are you going to bring in some sisters? Absolutely. We definitely want to have some women representation, absolutely. But at the same time, I wanted to also get this brother idea out too, so.
Well, it seems to be more of a write what you know situation.
Yeah,
more
too.
Familiar with it between the dogs and boys.
Yeah.
So are there particular perspectives on the brother? Like I said, I don't really understand the sibling thing. So what sort of lessons do you hope people will come away with from the book, or what learnings?
Yeah, I mean, I think the three things I want to talk about today is having fun and shared experience with your sibling. I would say different fear of the unknown is another one, and then also someone who you can always who always has your back. So the first one, the fun and shared experiences, I mean, that is absolutely something. I mean, Mike and I to this day we talk lots about some of the things we went through or some of the things we used to watch and see, and I feel like it's instantly it can make my bad day go away in a heartbeat because we sit there laughing, having fun, and remembering the good times. And I think there's a lot of people who don't either get along with their siblings or don't have a sibling and don't understand, and I just feel like the ones who have a sibling and maybe don't talk to them as much, they should reassess it and be like, hey, I'm missing out on having a sibling or having a connection with my sibling. The second one is the fear of the unknown. I know I saw it with my son when we brought my younger son home, and I kind of remember it when they brought Mike home, and I guess I might have been a little like, what do we need him for, kind of thing. You got me, and we definitely saw it with Dash, and there's that theme in it. But I think it's the first time that I and others, you share that you have that fear of the unknown, and that it's going to be okay, and that my parents explained to me, and I explained to my older son that everything was going to be all right. You were going to have an instant new friend. And again, it's I know I feel that way about Mike, and I know my older son feels that way about my younger son, and I think the dogs feel that way too. But the last one was having someone always having your back. I think that's a really important thing because to be able to know that that someone who knows you for most of your life. I mean, your siblings are probably one of the few people you will know almost all your life, or except for the first 4 years of your life. You will know your siblings. So they know you like anyone, better than anyone else. They know, they can, the older brothers especially can give their shared experience, their experience to the younger brothers and let them know, like, hey, this is what I went through. You might want to think about this thing and that thing. So it's about, I think, teaching and shared experience and having your brothers back. So again, that's something that's really important to me, and when I want to share. There's other messages there too, but those are the three ones that I like to kind of think about.
How can people who don't have the experience get into the book?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing is that if you don't have a sibling, it's a great way to kind of see, like, people have friends who have, if you don't have a sibling, your friends have siblings, so it's a window into sibling life a little bit. And then also some people who don't have siblings, again, it's a great way for them to kind of, hopefully, my hope would be they'd read the book and realize, maybe I've been, some of these brothers in this book do teasing or whatever, and let's forget about it, as long as it's not too bad, to forgive and forget and realize, like, that the bond that you have as a brother is really important, and a sibling too, with sisters too. So it's really important. I think it's great. I've had lots of people already who've told me, who've read it to their children who don't have siblings, who really like it. I've had people who told me they read it to their granddaughters, and they love it. I think it's probably because of the dogs, though.
There is that entry point.
But also
so
for
great.
The boys, too, maybe. So.
Okay. So you said that one of the things that inspired you to write this book is that you weren't seeing a lot of books about brotherhood. What media and other perspectives on brotherhood did you have growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I think there was a bunch. There was the movie La Bamba was a big movie for me and my brother. And Twins, I think, was also really
Which
special.
one were you?
I don't know. That's a tough one, because I guess I was the muscular guy, but I don't know about that one. But also there was different, like Mike and I used to watch a lot of wrestling. I think there was always a lot of tag teams and stuff like that, and maybe there were some brothers involved with that. The Rougeau brothers, I think, was one. I don't know if they really were brothers, right. But again, it was there was definitely brothers spliced into that, and also. Another movie was Brighton Beach Memoirs. I think that was another great movie about brothers that had an effect on me and Mike. Maybe more about Mike, because he was more into theater, but I appreciated it. I thought it was especially, I like the older brother, and because he was kind of giving life lessons to the younger, to Eugene, and so I tried to do a little bit of that with Mike. But sometimes he listened, sometimes he didn't. That's all right. That's also okay. You don't have to listen to everything that the brother says. But again, it's just, I think it's an important thing to be, I think also for older brothers, because you want to, you think that, my way is the only way to do it, but that's not always the case. And that's a lesson I learned, because I was immature, and I was like, this, you have to do it this way, Mike. And Mike proved otherwise, that you didn't have to do everything I did, and you know what, that's okay. But at the time, being 14, 15, 16, I'm like, well, this is the only way to do it, Mike. So.
I think he turned out okay.
I think so too.
Yeah. So you're kind of hinting that it's given you all these new ideas and ambitions. So. What do you think? Is this going to be like a new sideline for you?
I hope so. I mean, I really enjoy it, and I think I'm really looking forward to talking to different people, whether it's at bookstores or schools, and love to be able to read and talk to different people about and children about this book. So I'm definitely would be open to writing another book. I mean, I have all these ideas. I think that would be great to expand on this universe a little bit. Again, it's my creative side that I feel like I've kind of unleashed a little bit, and so I definitely feel the need to do more if there's enough demand for it, and because I wouldn't want to disappoint any fans that I have.
Do you see a way of maybe of crossing over, like a child's introduction to a state law or something?
No thanks on that one. But I think my other thing would be like to open up the world of what these dogs and the boys can do to a bigger world, and to have them all and do have different experiences and just and being able to talk to families about different things that they go through and maybe to say, okay, this is what what happened to them, how, what did they do right, what did they do wrong, because again, I also don't want my characters to be perfect. That's definitely something I will, and these guys aren't. And I also feel that no one's perfect, so it's something again that it's always a work in progress. Like I feel that this will be always a work in progress. I always want to get better. I always want to learn more, and I'm really excited to start this journey.
I feel I'd be remiss if I didn't ask what your spouse thought about all this, being the one person who's not on the cover of the book or represented.
Oh, she loves it. She's been doing all my social media.
Oh, okay. All right, so she's on board. Okay.
She absolutely is on board. She loves it. It's kind of like a little shared activity that we have together where, because we both, she does works in real estate, and I do some real estate law too. So it's like we end up talking about real estate all the time. Now we have something else to talk about, and so it's nice to be able to have that.
Is she giving you ideas for volume 2?
Oh,
and
definitely. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. She has. We to have different ideas. I asked her originally if she wanted me to be a co-author. She was like, "Nah, I don't want to do that." But at the same time, if she ever did want to do that, I would be more than open to do that.
But the influence was evident.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, also too, I'm more of the writer and the rhymer and stuff like that. I've been doing this kind of thing for a long time, so I have that skill. But sometimes she'll have some ideas too. And again, if it's a good idea and it's a good link and rhyme, I'll go with it.
Any final thoughts on being doing your first show here in Needham, and you want to say anything out to your friends and neighbors?
Well, I thank you so much for having me, Matt, and I'm just really excited to being able to go out into the community with this and have different ideas and talk about some of these different topics that these things bring up. But again, my whole thing is like I want this to be fun. I want this to be a shared experience, and I'm looking forward to being in the Needham community and surrounding communities and talking about all this. I'm just really excited. This is going to be a great thing, and I think it's not just for the community, but for me personally, because I really enjoy talking with people and meeting people and listening to all sorts of different opinions. So that's what I like to do.
Well, we're really glad that we could debut it here on the Needham Channel. It seems only fitting with all your connections. And so we wish you well with the book. Hope to see you at the library and the new bookstores that are coming to town. A lot of great opportunities.
Excellent.
And we hope to see you folks next time on The Writer's Block.